Today, September 10th, it's an emergency. I order you to open this. Archangel Michael has been trying to reach you. A secret courier is coming your house. Open it immediately. Archangel Mitchell says, the hour has turned and the air itself carries a message for you. Archangel Mitchell says, the lines of fate narrow and point like an arrow toward your door. Archangel Mitchell says, your name rises from silence and the message begins to move. The city stills for a moment and then breathes again. Somewhere a motorbike stops at a red light and the rider checks a small brown parcel. The rider looks down at a label with your name spelled clearly and boldly. It is August 18th and the date is not an accident. This is the page in your story that gets folded at the corner. This is the seal that breaks and changes the tone of your life. You felt a pull on your spirit since dawn. You noticed the way your heartbeat matched a distant rhythm. You sensed a visitor that does not arrive with fanfare yet brings a turning. The courier does not call first, the courier follows a line drawn across maps you cannot see. The courier carries a parcel marked private and immediate. The parcel holds paper that refuses ordinary light. It holds ink that wakes when spoken to with courage. It holds a name that sits at the center of everything you feared and everything you hoped. Your awareness sharpens as the day moves. You feel a hush arrive in the middle of ordinary noise. You stand and the room understands without being told. Do not announce yourself to those who do not honor you. Do not break the silence that protects your rise. Hold your composure like a candle that does not bend to wind. On the outer wrapping there is a symbol that looks like a wing laid across a key. Below the wing there is a short horizontal line. That line tells you this message arrived by sanction and not by accident. Your house prepares itself without fuss. A path clears from your main door to the place you keep your important things. The table waits like a stage. You sit for a moment and breathe as if the day is being written through you. You touch the surface of the table and imagine a new beginning pressed into the wood. You allow your shoulders to settle because settling is power. Outside, footsteps choose your street. A small engine slows and then rests. A hand checks the parcel again and a voice repeats your name quietly to the air. The doorbell will not ring like a chatter. It will sound once and then stop as if it knows its role. You will stand and walk and the day will fold open. Do not rush with fear. Move with a decision that remembers who you are. Open the door as if you already own the news. The courier will not ask many things. The courier will confirm your name and hold the parcel with two hands. The courier will expect your signature and your calm. Sign with steady letters like railroad tracks to tomorrow. Use the blue ink that rests near your documents. Let your hand be a bridge that does not shake. The moment the parcel meets your palms you will feel a temperature change. It will be a hush of cool like shade pulling across stone. It will be a sign that this is the right message. Close the door and allow the room to be a witness. Place the parcel on the table with care and respect for your own destiny. Do not speak the message aloud before it knows you are ready. There is a cord tied in a single knot. Slide your thumb beneath it slowly as if greeting an old friend. Let the knot loosen like a memory returning. The paper beneath is heavier than it looks. It holds an imprint that will rise when touched by warm skin. It holds a road you can finally walk. The first page carries a line written for you alone. It says that delay ended today. It says that obscurity loses the right to follow you. You will read about a threshold already under your feet. You will read about a name that once held you back now becoming a key. You will read about the place where you plant your next season. Letter will not flatter. The letter will not dramatize. The letter will speak with a clean voice that matches the way you want to live. It will mention the hours you fought unseen. It will record the days you refused bitterness and chose skill. It will honor your small faithful acts that stacked into a fortress. There will be a page marked with a small star. On that page you will find locations and times that matter to your eyes. You will find a window that opens when you show up fully. The letter will instruct you to gather 3 things. The first is a record of your promise to yourself that you never broke. The second is proof of a talent that works even when you are tired. The third is a name you kept honorable when no one was clapping. Place these 3 together within the next 2 days. Keep them in a folder that feels like new ground. The message will call for a cleansing not of guilt but of dust. It will ask you to clear your desk of papers that never fed your calling. It will ask you to make room for the living. You will feel old shadows try to rise, they will try to speak with the voice of delay. Let them find no room in your house. A letter will discuss a door with 2 locks that become one. It will show you the combination in a sequence of gentle steps. It will give you a phrase to keep in your mouth like bread. Read the phrase softly and the paper will warm. Read it again and the ink will seem to widen. Read it once more and your heart will answer. This is the day a certain fear retires, this is the day a certain courier takes its desk in your chest. This is the day a corridor you once saw only in dreams becomes usable ground. The courier does not return for this parcel, the courier's work was to reach you on August 18th. The rest belongs to your hands. Your phone may try to distract you. Your screen may invite you into rooms where your name is not respected. Turn your attention like a will toward what is written for you. You may feel a tremor in your palms. Accept it as the last language of an old season. Let the tremor become steadiness in your stride. Some people around you will sense you changing without understanding the cause. They will call you to speak about ordinary things. Allow yourself to remain kind while refusing to shrink. You will notice the light in your house shift by 1 quiet degree. Corners will feel wide. The mirror will tell the truth and the truth will rest you. Prepare a small place where you keep this letter for the next 9 days, keep it clean and reachable. Do not hide it under fear. On the 3rd day the letter will ask you to revisit a forgotten ID. It will tell you to lift it from the shelf and give it a real table. It will show you where to place your first deliberate step. By the 5th day you will send one message that aligns your direction. You will speak with clarity without excess. You will name your value without apology. On the 7th day the letter will ask for stillness in the early hour. It will remind you that stillness is not emptiness. It is the room where your next decision stands and waits to be chosen. By the 9th day an answer arrives that once seemed far. It will not scream. It will simply take its chair and look at you like an eagle. Keep notes of what becomes clear. Write the sentences that feel like pillars. Let your notes become the first pages of the life you are building now. If a memory tries to argue that you are late, let the new hour correct it. If an old voice demands permission to doubt, let your steps be the reply. If exhaustion requests the last word, let rest be your loyal ally. You will remember a promise you made to yourself at a smaller table. You will see how the parcel kept that promise safe while you gathered strength. You will understand that protection sometimes looks like delay but is not delay. There is also a small card inside the parcel. It carries a number and a name written with care. It is a contact aligned with your path and not with your fear. Reach out when the letter tells you the time is right. Speak the phrase given on the marked page. Let right doors open because you arrived with readiness. A new rhythm will take root in your schedule. Work will become a shape that fits your hands. Your gifts will feel like tools that finally meant their purpose. The letter will remind you to honor your body. You will eat like someone who plans to persist. You will sleep like someone who no longer bargains with delay. The house will feel taller without changing shape. The air will stop carrying the stale taste of old worry. You will notice your shoulders telling a better story. You will remember that you are not alone. You will notice small timely help arriving exactly when needed. You will notice the way your steps find dry ground in places you once feared to cross. Let your speech grow precise. Let your time grow valuable. Let your company grow worthy. The letter will speak briefly about money. It will show you the holes in the pocket you use to carry it. It will show you the simple stitch that keeps what belongs to you. The letter will speak briefly about love. It will point toward peace that does not beg. It will point toward truth that does not ban. The letter will speak briefly about home. It will ask for order that welcomes new provision. It will ask for beauty you can afford and beauty you can keep. You will feel the day end with a new honesty. You will notice that your room looks the same, and yet it does not. You will realize that meaning arrived and took its rightful place. Before sleep, return the parcel to its place. Thank the day for what it gave. Invite tomorrow to continue without noise. The message will stand when you wake. Its instructions will not evaporate. Your strength will not be a mood but a decision. Carry yourself through the week with quiet certainty. Speak softly and move precisely. Choose only what echoes the letter. Share little with those who misuse your words. Share fully with your future by doing what is written. Share honorably with the part of you that waited for this day. He is still August 18th in the story even as the hours fall. The signature glows quietly in ink that does not fade. The seal lies open but it does not look broken. It looks fulfilled. Your road bends now toward a clean horizon. The air ahead holds work that satisfies. The ground ahead holds doors that fit your key. Return to the first page when you need to remember the start. Return to the marked page when you need to act wisely. Return to your breath when you need to stand steady. You are not rushing. You are arriving. You are reading your name in your own handwriting and believing it. The courier will deliver others' parcels to other doors. Your door received this one because your name is ready. Your name is ready because your heart stayed faithful when nobody was counting. Let the world adjust to your rise. Let the noise choose other rooms. Let the message do its work through your hands. You will look back at this date and see a hinge. You will look back at the way small decisions built a gate. You will look back at your courage and call it home. The hour belongs to you without apology. A letter belongs to you without fear. The future begins and does not ask permission. Walk as if the ground is invested in your steps. Build as if time respects your craft. Rest as if your joy is allowed to stay. Today you met what you were promised. Today you opened what was meant for you. Today you answered your own calling with your own voice. Keep your hand level. Keep your feet honest. Keep your hands open to good work. The story continues in the quiet center of your home. The letter waits for its next reading. Your life turns a page you will never need to unturn. You do not chase. You claim. You do not plead. You proceed. You are aligned with what was written on your behalf. You are supplied for what is next. You are free to move without the old weight. Carry this calm into every room you enter. Carry this clarity into every plan you write. Carry this truth like a light that does not burn out. What was sealed for you has reached you. What was delayed for your protection has opened for your progress. What was hard to name has now spoken and stands beside you. Stand tall in your doorway one last time before night. Look at the street that brought this message. Let gratitude settle like a gentle anchor. Then go inside and live it. Do the next right action, keep the letter close and your spirit clean. This is your hour and your home and your name. This is your parcel and your path and your proof. This is your beginning again and it is on time. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. Continuing the message, the night leans in and listens. Your rooms feel precise as if every corner agreed to align. The parcel breathes quietly like a lantern under cloth. A slender slip falls from the inner flap and waits. Its edges shine with a muted silver that refuses to show. On the surface, one word rests like a calm bell. Proceed. You turn the slip and a sequence reveals itself like steady footprints. Each line is simple, trimmed of noise, sharpened for action. Each step belongs to you and not to the crowd. The first instruction tells you to seal your silence for the next 72 hours. It asks you to hold your news the way a seed holds spring before the thaw. It asks you to protect your rise from casual speech. The second instruction grows a quiet circle around your workspace. It requests a table wiped clean and a chair that respects your spine. It asks for light that does not flicker and paper that welcomes ink. The third instruction speaks of an inventory of loyalties. Write 3 names that strengthen your courage without demand. Write 3 names that drain your focus without apology. Fold the first 3 and keep them near your tools. Fold the second 3 and place them in a drawer that does not open daily. You are not erasing anyone. You are protecting your path. Archangel Mitchell says, keep order like a musician tuning before the hall awakens. Archangel Mitchell says, pied structure is not punishment. It is permission. Archangel Mitchell says, the hour answers those who arrived ready. A fourth instruction points to your phone with a clear boundary. Remove the alerts that farm your attention without return, keep only those that serve your next clean stat. A fifth instruction asks for a 3-minute practice at dawn. Sit upright and let your breath measure the room with steadiness. Read the phrase from the start page once, then let it land. Your hands remember how to do real work when they are not watched. Your mind remembers how to choose when it is not begged. Your time remembers how to be valuable when it is not scattered. A small watermark appears when your fingers warm the paper. It is a map with no roads and a compass without letters. It shows direction by the way your heartbeat steadies at true north. You test it by speaking the phrase softly. The room answers by removing one layer of dullness. The view through your window becomes crisp as if distance decided to be honest. The letter names the next 9 days as a corridor. Day 1 belongs to clearing into the right kind of discarding. Day 2 belongs to gathering proof that your gift works on ordinary days. Day 3 belongs to a simple reach toward a gatekeeper aligned with your integrity. Day 4 belongs to rest that counts as strategy and not as escape. Day 5 belongs to setting a date with work that feeds your future. Day 6 belongs to courage expressed as a clean boundary. Day 7 belongs to generosity that does not endanger you. Day 8 belongs to a decision you delayed because you felt unready. Day 9 belongs to the signature you place on your next season. Sign with the same blue you used at the door earlier. Let the line be steady and final without harshness. The parcel includes a thin metallic card, quiet and precise. It is not decorative, it is functional. When held, it aligns your sense of timing with the day's true tempo. And the reverse of the card. 3 short rules live like rails. Do not announce your moves before they have breath. Do not apologize for your standard when it protects your promise. Do not rehearse old injuries as if pain were currency. You have graduated from that market. Your value now is built of skill, patience, and clarity. A folded insert describes a resonance test. Speak the phrase near a document, a message, or a plan. If the air dulls, the thing is not yours. If the air clears, the thing is yours. You test an old plan that never left the ground. The phrase meets it and the air dims to gray. You file it under gratitude for lessons and release it without ceremony. You test a modest idea you once ignored. The air sharpens and the table feels stronger beneath your wrists. You bring the idea forward and give it proper tools. The insert clarifies your standing with time. You are not behind, you are arriving at precision. You are not late. You are right on the line where the door opens. A quiet paragraph addresses protection. It speaks about people who trade in confusion and urgency without truth. It advises that your silence will starve their appetite. You recall recent moments where your peace was advertised as weakness. The letter corrects that rumor by turning the light on the results you build. Peace here is the sign of depth and not of empty rooms. Another page bears a narrow strip that can be removed. Beneath it, a set of dates stands like planks across a river. Each date carries one sentence, simple and sufficient. August 18th, receive an anchor. August 19th, gather proof and order your desk. August 20th, send one message that names your value without ornament. August 21st, 2 hours of holy silence after the first response arrives. August 22nd, choose one tool to master and discard the others for now. August 23rd, walk your neighborhood with steady steps and let the ground know you. August 24th, set a small deadline and meet it with ease. August 25th, thank the day by acting instead of praising. August 26th, enter the new gate and stand upright. You read the list twice and feel your breath even out. The days stop crowding and begin arranging themselves. The week turns from a tangle into a road. The letter holds a short lecture on money that is clean and unsentimental. Charge where you used to bargain yourself into thinness. Keep receipts where you used to keep stories. It adds a line about kindness that has edges. Be generous without letting your pockets leak into the ground. Be accessible without letting your hours dissolve into fog. It adds a line about love that keeps its shape. Build from truths and not from hunger. Choose reciprocity and not performance. Your room feels taller again and the mirror returns a calm face. The old ache has not disappeared. It has obeyed a boundary. You can still hear it outside the fence, but it no longer names your choices. The envelope's inner seam hides a last segment. You ease it open and find a list called the 3 Quiet Tasks. Each task is built for strength, not for skeptical. Task 1. Archive the documents that prove your craft and label them clearly. Put them where you can retrieve them in seconds without drama. Let your future client and your future self find them ready. Task 2. Prepare a small welcome for the next good opportunity. This is not superstition. This is logistics. A clear calendar's lot and a prepared note are practical honor. Task 3. Create a brief statement that fits in one breath. Let it say who you are, what you do, and how it helps. Speak it to the room until it sits on your tongue like home. A narrow Cahin follows in a firm tone. Beware of emergencies that do not bleed. They shout to control your calendar without legitimacy. Your phone lights up with small storms that are not your weather. You watch them pass as clouds over a mountain that does not move. They fade because you do not feed them. A second card appears from the sleeve with a soft click. It looks blank until your palm warms it, and one short directive arrives like a true note. Protect the morning. You claim the first hour of each day is ground under your name. You build quietly and then let the day do what it must. Your output begins to click like bricks that agree to become a wall. You remember rooms where your IDs were treated as decoration. You remember the way you packed them gently and carried them out. Today you unlock a door where they are treated as architecture. The letter's final guidance concerns the company you keep. Choose those who speak to your strength without asking you to shrink. Choose those who understand that your rise does not steal their sky. Archangel Mitchell says, honor the gate you have entered by walking with clean steps. Archangel Mitchell says, your steadiness is the engine now. Archangel Mitchell says, your signature already chained the calendar. The house listens and then relaxes as if it heard a verdict in your favor. The chair holds you the way a harbor holds a ship between voyages. Your tools look back at you as partners and not as clutter. You take the metallic card and tuck it near your documents. You return the letter to its place as instructed. You breeze and feel the calendar align like teeth on a key. Evening arrives without drama. Your door remains quiet because it already completed its duty. The street outside shows no sign of the events it hosted, which is proper. In the kitchen, the kettle hums and cools like a small bell. You move through your routines with a new center of gravity. Every motion votes for the future you just accepted. You review the day's list once more before closing the light. You find no theater in any sentence. You find only clean work and honest rest. The window shows a sky that does not need translation. You sleep as someone who knows what the morning is for. The house guards that sleep like a promise kept. At dawn, the first instruction meets you with calm authority. You sit straight, breathe evenly, and read the phrase once. The day answers with a quiet click somewhere inside your chest. Your hands choose the first task without argument, labels line up, files settle, and proof gathers itself with dignity. What you once searched for now comes when called. By mid-morning, you compose the single message the letter requested. It is clean, precise, and free of explanations that no longer belong to you. You send it and return to your work as if nothing needs witness. A reply arrives within the window named by the card. You hold your silence for the full 2 hours, honoring the rule. Your silence is not empty. It is full of momentum. When the time completes, you answer with clarity that does not oversell. A door clicks open somewhere beyond your immediate view. You feel it the way a ship feels a current before the shore appears. Through the afternoon, your schedule becomes obedient to purpose. Your feet take you where your hands are useful. Your mind does not wander because it prefers progress now. Evening brings a small test from an old pattern. An invitation arrives that used to send your hours into smoke. You decline with a sentence that is both kind and final. The night respects you for it. A letter respects you for it. You respect yourself for it most of all. Day follows day and the corridor holds, sturdy and wide. Your notes weld into plans and your plans step into the world. Opportunities begin to look like normal days that carry profit. You realize the parcel did not give you a new life. It gave you your life without interference. It trimmed the noise and returned the steering wheel to your hands. It placed a clean mirror in front of you and told you to walk. You stand again at the table where it began. The paper rests smooth and untroubled. A metallic card waits without impatience. You return the tools to their places and close the day. The house keeps its quiet treaty with your purpose. Your name and your calendar are finally speaking the same language. You move forward without ceremony. You build without asking permission from rooms that never paid your rent. You live the message by doing the work in front of you. The street outside looks ordinary, which is the right kind of magic. The sky keeps its color, which is the right kind of promise. Your steps keep their rhythm, which is the right kind of power. The 18th marked your doorway and the mark remains. It does not shout, it simply guides. You follow, steady and sure. Because this is what you were always meant to carry. The corridor widens as dawn repeats its clean promise. Your feet find the same rhythm and your breath finds the same clear laying. What felt like a miracle yesterday becomes a method today. You lay the metallic card beside your tools and let it rest. Its edge catches a thin line of morning light as if it is listening. The room holds its quiet pact with your purpose. A new insert reveals itself from the letter's spine like a hidden stare. It is title. The 4 doorways you will cross without noise. Each doorway is named with a single word that does not break. the first doorway is authority. It does not blare. It recognizes your competence and expects proof. You meet it by showing your work without spectacle. The second doorway is provision. It opens when your rate matches your real value and your calendar matches your focus. You cross by charging fairly and delivering precisely. The third doorway is alignment. It is the room where the wrong opportunities lose their grip. You cross by letting your yes be exact and your no be kind. The fourth doorway is continuity. It keeps your progress from falling into spikes and droughts. You cross by keeping a sustainable pace that respects your body. You write these 4 words on a small card of your own. You place the card near the metallic one and let them agree. The desk becomes a command bridge instead of a pile of intention. Archangel Mitchell says, when your steps are exact, even obstacles become usable. Archangel Mitchell says, when your voice is clean, the right ears appear. Archangel Mitchell says, when your standard stands, confusion has nothing to sell you. You return to the main letter and find a quiet section called the 3 signals. The first signal is warmth without rush, the second signal is resistance without chaos. The third signal is clarity without exhaustion. When these 3 appear together, the path is alive. When they scatter, you step back and let false urgency pass. Mid-morning arrives like a soft drum and your message returns with weight. A name you respect asks for a call at a time you can afford. You agree without over-explaining, and the day nods. Before the call, you complete the resonance test on the agenda. The air brightens as if the window learned a new truth. You circle 3 points you will deliver and remove everything else. The call begins, and your voice does not audition. It contributes. You place each sentence like a measured brick on level ground. On the other side, you hear steady breath and penciled notes. They ask for a sample of your method, short and exact. You share a single page that proves your approach without drama. Silence lands not as doubt but as consideration. A decision forms without noise and then reveals itself. A date is offered that fits your calendar like a clean glove. You confirm with a blue ink steadiness the letter taught your hand. After the call, you return to the desk and write down what went right, a line of preparation, a line of activity, a line of retreat. You store the page under a tab named Repeatable. The afternoon brings one of the old tests disguised as a favor. Someone wants your speed without your fee and your talent without your boundary. You recognize the costume and decline with respect that does not bend. The house approves by remaining quiet, the street approves by moving on with its traffic as if relieved. Your chest approves by staying open instead of folding. Evenings like turns the edges of the letter to soft amber. You read the section called the 5 Vows of a Clean Path. Vow 1. I will not rush what needs depth. Vow 2. I will not starve what feeds my future. Vow 3. I will not decorate what needs to be built. Vow 4. I will not argue with clarity. Vow 5. I will not trade my peace for applause. You copy these to your notebook in letters that do not wobble. You sign the page with the same blue that met the courier. A small noise at the door startles nothing. It is your neighbor returning a key you once loaned months ago. They slip it into your hand and say they found it while clearing a drawer. Letter brightens in your periphery because you recognize the symbol. What left you under distraction returns to you under order. You hang the key where it belongs as if investing in steady ground. Iden rolls like a clean road beneath a careful moon. You take the metallic card once more and warm it between your palms. A new line appears as if it has waited for this exact temperature. It reads, "Announce when the work is breathing, not when the ID is hungry." You nod because your earlier life did the opposite too often. You decide to keep the project under measured silence until a milestone lives. Dawn again brings everything crisp. You treat the first hour as the letter instructed, and your chair becomes a lighthouse. The exact phrase from the start page makes a small window in your day. Emails arrive and do not sway you. Your phone lights but does not own your morning. You complete the foundational tasks before you give the world a turn. Midday you tend to logistics with a new elegance. Invoices go out without apology. Contracts come back without holes. Files are named without confusion. You feel the dignity of someone who does not lose time to tangled drawers. An old contact message is with a sudden opportunity framed in rush. You test it with a phrase and the air dulls like a great pain. You decline with gratitude and notice your energy return instantly. In the afternoon you devote 1 hour to sharpening a single tool. You practice not to oppress but to increase precision. That hour compounds like saved coins earning quiet interest. Later, you step outside and walk the route the letter named. The pavement holds your steps like a friend who knows your balance. A tree you have passed 100 times looks newly engineered, not just grown. You begin to plan your workspace like an engineer of clarity. I have a recurrent task to do to go over a certain health problem. Everything within arm's reach supports a single flow. At the end of the day, you perform the evening audit of 3 lines. What did I build? What did I protect? What did I release? You record them without decoration and the page feels solid. Sleep meets you like an eye because you invited it early. The room darkens gently without drama. Your body thanks you for treating it like a co-founder. Morning breaks and brings the first public ripple of your new standard. A message arrives from someone who once underestimated you. Their tone has shifted from casual demand to measured respect. You do not bloat because bloating would dilute the clean taste of the hour. You simply accept the correction of reality. You continue building because the best replies continuity. You reopen the parcel, then find a slim sleeve you missed. Inside is a ribbon of paper that lists the quiet calendar. It is not a schedule. It is a rhythm. Mondays are for foundation and courage. Tuesdays are for outreach and evidence. Wednesdays are for deliverables that shine without glitter. Thursdays are for review and rate adjustments. Fridays are for edges and friendships that fit your path. Saturdays are for replenishment disguised as beauty. Sundays are for stillness that fills the well without spilling. You map your week onto this rhythm and the days inhale. They stop tripping over one another and begin to march. A thin page titled Language appears next. It offers replacements for words that sabotage momentum. Replace later with scheduled. Hope with plan, try with begin. Replace busy with building. Cheap with fair, lucky with prepared. The page is simple like clean linen. You tape it near your desk because language is scaffolding. Your first major delivery under the new standard approaches. You prepare it in layers that cannot collapse. Outline like a blueprint. Draft like a builder. Refine like a craftsman. When it is ready, you do not announce it with fanfare, you submit it on schedule with a cover note that breathes. You step away and let the work represent you without begging. Feedback returns not as noise but as confirmation. The client quotes back your own clarity. They add scope without drama and you adjust the rate without guilt. Money arrives through channels that used to stutter. It moves like water through pipes that have finally been sealed. You allocate it with a sober hand that honors both present and future. You tithe to your own stability by paying the non-negotiables first. You invest in tools that multiply your time. You keep a line for joy that refreshes your eyes so they keep seeing well. A memory tries to pull you into an argument with the past. You let it talk to a wall made of proof. The wall does not need to shout. It simply stands. The house has a new pusta now. Shells hold what matters and let go of what does not. Doors open and close without catching because you fixed the track. You host a small conversation with someone you trust. You share the broad strokes of your corridor without inviting meddling. They respond as a peer who wants your rise to last. A knock interrupts nothing. A small parcel slides under your door. It carries the courier's seal again, smaller like a foot new, inside. A single line sits alone. Maintain the morning or lose the map. You smile because the message is both warning and promise. You place the line where you will see it at dawn. You recommit to the architecture that turned a date into a doorway. Your work continues to land with accuracy. A new client arrives by referral from the first, not by pleading. The chain forms because the link you forge holds weight. Afternoons begin to include short walks through quiet streets. Your eyes learn to rest on far horizons again. Your shoulders stop trying to carry what the calendar can hold. You return to the letter and notice a final page you had not turned. It is titled Field Manual and divided into 5 sections. Time, money, words, health, space. Time, schedule what matters before the world has a chance to fill the gaps. Money, pay yourself in stability before you pay others in spectacle. Words, send exactly what is required and nothing you will regret. Health, sleep like a builder, eat like an athlete of patience, move like a craftsman. Space, your room mirrors your mind, so keep what you can use and bless the rest to leave. You copy these into your notebook and feel the manual settle into your day. A week closes and the corridor does not end, it widens. Your name circulates in rooms you once watched from the door. You are invited in not as a guest to impress, but as a peer to contribute. The second week arrives and the rhythm does not shake. You protect the mooring and it protects everything else. The gains do not spike and fall, they gather and hold. You keep meeting small tests with the same calm blade, the rush request, the discount plea, the mystery meeting with no agenda. Each one is met with a phrase, the pause, the boundary. Your confidence is no longer adrenaline, it is structure. Your focus is no longer scarcity, it is selection. Your pace is no longer panic, it is practice. An old friend returns with real sincerity. They respect your changes and ask how to support instead of how to use. You let them step back into your orbit under the new gravity, at your desk. The metallic card rests like a quiet metronome. Every so often you hold it and let a line surface. Today it offers, do fewer things, fully. You apply it instantly by pruning your list. 4 tasks go, 2 remain, 1 begins now. The room thanks you by getting brighter without changing the lights. A month folds on itself and reveals the kind seam you stitched. The parcel's pages are worn at the edges from use, not from worry. The ink still holds, and so do you. You look at your calendar and see a pattern of real work and real rest. You look at your accounts and see the shape of a hand that learned accuracy. You look at your mirror and see a face that tells the truth without apology. Lose arrives from somewhere you used to chase. They have noticed your results from a distance and want to align. You do not sprint, you evaluate. You test with the phrase, and the air brightens with a mature light. You accept with a scope that guards your health and your craft. The agreement lands without drama because you brought a finished spine. Your home becomes not an escape but a headquarters. Your meals become not a reward but a resource. Your evenings become not an argument with time but a closing ritual. You open the parcel one more time and find the first page staring back. It no longer reads like a prophecy. It reads like a record. The words did not move, you did. You file the letter in a place of honor and utility. You leave the metallic card on the desk where you can reach it daily. You write your own additional page called Lessons from Doing. Lesson 1. Silence is a tool, not a punishment. Lesson 2. Boundaries make generosity sustainable. Lesson 3. Preparation is the opposite of panic. Lesson 4. Persean is cheaper than speed. Lesson 5. Consistency is a friend that outlives motivation. You date the page and sign it with the blue that began this arc. The street outside continues as streets do. The sky continues as skies do. Your life continues as a deliberate build, not a spectacle. A courier's motor is long gone, and that is correct. The sound you listen, for now, is your own craft moving forward. A message did not rescue you. It recruited you. You step into the next hour with the same steady shoulders. You keep the rhythm that turned noise into progress. You live the simplicity that holds complex results. This is how the 80th becomes a lineage of good days. This is how a parcel becomes a practice. This is how a door becomes a road you walk without trembling. The routine holds like a well-tuned string, and does not snap. Each hour takes its exact place as if the day is a living grid. You move through it with the calm of someone who knows where every tool belongs. You open your notebook to a page labeled Continui Protocol. 3 headings wait like pillars that hold a simple roof. Input. Process. Output. Under input you list the sources that feed your craft. Books you truly read. Mentors you quietly learn from. Data you confirmed with your own work. Noise does not qualify and is removed without guilt. Under process you write the verbs you trust. Observe. Distill. Build. Refine. Deliver. Archive. Under output you define the forms that represent you with dignity. A report that breathes and does not brag, a result that stands even when you are offline. Archangel Mitchell says, "The world will try to buy your attention, but your attention is not for sale." Archangel Mitchell says, choose allegiance to your purpose over the applause of the hour, Archangel Mitchell says. A clean habit is a fortress that needs no guard. You return to the parcel and find a diagram folded like a small map. It is titled The 5 Bearings of a True North Day. Bearing 1 is Start from Stillness. Bearing 2 is Touch the Work. Bearing 3 is Speak with Prove. Bearing 4 is Protect the Middle. Bearing 5 is Close with Order. You copy the 5 bearings to a card and wedge it under the edge of your keyboard. Every glance reminds you that traction is a choice. Late morning brings a request that used to unsettle you. A client wants speed that compromises the integrity of the result. You offer 2 options that keep quality intact and time honest. Accept the second option without resistance because you lead with structure. You draft a scope that fits like a measured suit, the agreement lands and your schedule remains healthy. You check the envelope's inner pocket and discover a list titled Damage Control for Ordinary Storms. It gives you a 3-step sequence to activate when pressure rises. Step 1 is Reduce Surface Area. You reduce meetings to those that advance the task. You reduce open tabs to the exact documents you need. You reduce inputs until your head feels like a clear room. Step 2 is Increase Precision. You define the minimum complete delivery that still honors the brief. You mark the exact edges and remove sentimental flourishes. Step 3 is Communicate early and brief. You send a 2-paragraph update that states progress and states the next checkpoint. You ask for confirmation on the boundary that protects quality. A text arrives from a former collaborator who once pulled you into drain cycles. They compliment the new results and hint at a reunion that would break your pace. You thank them for the kind words and decline the reunion with final politeness. The parcel's metallic card warms in your hand and yields a new line. It reads, Choose deep yes or clean no. You adopt it as a reflex each time a new invitation appears. Afternoon sunlight trims the edges of your desk with a patient glow. You revise a section of your workflow titled Handshake Ritual. Every engagement begins with clarity, continues with cadence, ends with documentation. Clarity defines the objective, the outcome, and the evidence that proves both. Cadence defines the checkpoints that keep everyone honest and calm. Documentation captures what worked so it can be repeated without new friction. You sketch a small dashboard in your notebook with 4 dials. Energy, focus, output, integrity. Each dial receives a number from 1 to 10 as the day closes. You do not punish yourself when a dial dips. You adjust the next day's load with compassion that still expects results. You treat yourself like a long-distance builder who plans to keep building. Evening brings a letter from a future you once imagined. It is not fantasy and it is not boast. It is a ledger of steady weeks stacking into a year that carries weight. You read and feel the validity because the tone is sober. It lists projects finished, plans retained, skills sharpened. It lists stays off, that reseated focus rather than numbed it. The parcel includes another slip with a new heading. The heading says Clean Negotiation Notes. It reminds you that price is a sentence about value and not a confession of fear. You write 3 sentences that guide your rates. I price for the problem I solve, not for the minutes I sit. I anchor with outcomes that matter to the buyer and to the future. I accept only the work that keeps my standard intact. The sentences feel like rails under a train that intends to arrive. your posture changes and your calendar follows. Archangel Mitchell says some doors open because you knock and some open because you walk like you belong. Archangel Mitchell says treat every yes like a seed that expects a harvest. Archangel Mitchell says protect your ground so your work can grow tall without leaning. You turn to a page labeled shielding without disappearing. It teaches boundaries that do not announce themselves as war. It shows where to place your time and how to exit cleanly when misalignment appears. The framework is simple and carries 3 moves. Move 1 is the pause that catches your breath before reply. Move 2 is the mirror that reflects the actual ask without fog. Move 3 is the offer that names a healthy path forward. If none exists, the exit line is gracious and clothed. You practice the moves aloud until they feel natural and warm. Morning again and the first hour belongs to you without negotiation. Outreach is done from a place of fullness and not from pay. Craft moves forward before calendars ask for fears. A mentor writes a short note with 2 accurate observations. They see your steadiness and point to one place where friction still hides. You adjust a single step and the whole sequence becomes smoother. Bid week, you deliver a milestone and archive the method. The archive is named in a way that future you can find in seconds. You write an annotation that explains the thought choices that led to the result. This practice turns experience into material that compounds. It keeps you from rebuilding from scratch under the illusion of fracas. It keeps your future from paying the tax of confusion. A call arrives from a room that once felt out of reach. They did not find you through slogans, they found you through outcomes. You accept the conversation and remain yourself while speaking. They ask for timeline and you answer with a pace that respects the craft. They ask for cost and you answer with a price that honors the value. They ask for proof and you supply it in 3 measured samples. The room decides and the decision is fair. The calendar flexes in a way that does not break your morning ritual. The agreement is signed and placed in your archive with quiet satisfaction. You add a new card to your desk titled the Afterglow Guardrail. It states that success needs shepherding. It states that momentum must be turned into process before it dissipates. You schedule a 15-minute window after every win. In that window you capture what went right, who helped, and where the leverage lies. Those notes become the blueprint for the next project's first day. The parcel's main sheet contains a file-tucked fold that you now unfold. It reveals the map you own. At the center sits your name without decoration. From your name, 4 lines extend to 4 territories. Craft, relationships, resources. Reputation, each territory contains 3 landmarks. Craft holds mastery, method, and margin for error. Relationships hold mentors, peers, and clients. Resources hold time, tools, and health. Reputation holds proof, predictability, and poise. You rate each landmark truthfully and write 1 action beside each. The map becomes a living ledger you will revisit monthly. Archangel Mitchell says, the right kind of ambition is patient and accurate. Archangel Mitchell says, you are building a house that will not tilt in the wind. Archangel Mitchell says, keep the morning, and the morning will keep you. Weeks settle into a stride that feels like a long river with steady banks. Deliverables land on time and resemble your standard. Your voice grows quieter and your influence grows larger. Friends who love you notice the difference and celebrate without envy. You allow their celebration into your house because it is safe. You bless their work with the same clarity you now use on your own. You write a page called Recovery for Heavy Days. It lists simple resets that reveres the dread. One is a short walk without a device. Another is water and a slow breath until your eyes whiten. Another is 10 minutes of order making where clutter once lived. The list sits near your desk as a first aid kit that actually gets used. You review the early dates that the parcel suggested. They are now lived facts rather than hopeful notes. You set a new series that honors the same spirit. The new series begins with a maintenance week. It is made of updates, gentle polish, and unglamorous fixes. It is the week where small leaks get sealed before they demand headlines. From there you schedule a creative sprint with a respectful scope. It focuses on one improvement that matters and ignores vanity upgrades. It ends with a demonstration that proves the change in the simplest form. Your finances reflect the shift from reaction to design. Expenses match purpose and not impulse. Savings grow and are moved to places where they can help your future choose. You no longer barter your rate with your own doubt. You no longer apologize for structure that preserves quality. You no longer chase rooms that mistook your skill for decoration. A quiet evening arrives and you sit with the original envelope. The paper shows the wear of use and the grace of care. You feel gratitude without the echoes because the evidence is present. The house holds your work the way a good frame holds a painting. The street outside remains ordinary, which keeps you saying, the sky leans into dusk and your mind leans into rest. Before sleep you stack tomorrow's first 3 tasks in a shallow tray. You tape a small note to the metallic card with a single verb, begin. Morning honors that verb with clean execution. The first task completes and you feel the current return, the second begins and your breath settles deeper. Clients receive their updates before they need to ask. Peers receive your thanks before they need to guess their value. Mentors receive proof that you listened and built. Your reputation is now a function of your process and not of your luck. Your calendar is now a function of your choices and not of other people's emergencies. Your mood is now a function of your stewardship and not of chaos. Another small parcel arrives without fanfare. It contains nothing but a blank page embossed with a wing and key. You understand its instruction without a single printed word. You write your own message to yourself on that page. You keep it short because you prefer action over ornament. You say exactly what you will build next and when you will deliver it. You place that page in the same folder as the first letter. You have become the author of the instructions you once waited to receive. You have become the courier of your own momentum. The 18th remains the hinge and the door it turned now stays open. You do not stand in the doorway telling stories about the door. You walk the hallway and fill the rooms with results. In time you mentor someone standing where you stood. You teach them the morning and the phrase and the boundaries. You model steadiness more than speeches. The parcel that changed your posture becomes a lineage of practice. Its pages seed other desks and other clear mornings. Its quiet power multiplies through proof and not through noise. You reread the first lines that met you on that day. They no longer feel like thunder, they feel like the weather of a well-built life. Your hands return to the tools because that is where joy lives now. Your mind returns to the structure because that is where freedom lives now. Your heart returns to the steady lane because that is where peace lives now. The night closes and the house exhales. Your name rests inside a calendar that respects it. Your future rests inside a practice that will carry it. The courier is far away, and that is right. The delivery has been absorbed into the architecture of your days. The message has become the method that keeps delivering.